So the UK ad market in recent years has faced stiff competition from the likes of Netflix, Amazon Prime, Apple TV. And as a result, we're seeing increasing collaboration from the public sector broadcasters, which is really pleasing to see. In part, this is really important because it allows them to compete with the other TV service providers. But it's not just competition from these guys that we're seeing, it's also from the likes of Facebook and Google, who are all competing for share of advertising spend. So where we're starting to see the broadcasters collaborate, we're seeing their strength and their position increase in terms of being able to compete and retain that advertising market share. And what we're also seeing off the back of this is increased flexibility in what is a very traditional channel, which has historically had long lead times, which has made it quite difficult for some advertisers to actually utilize the medium. So in the last year, we've seen a reduction in advanced booking deadlines, which makes the medium a lot more flexible for advertisers. So that's certainly one of the benefits that we've seen. But I think it's also important to kind of reflect on what some of the potential downsides of collaboration might be. And of course, this could come at the cost of competition. And that's why actually the UK market is quite strong and healthy, because we see this competition between the broadcasters who are all gunning for a part of the advertising pie. And as a result, there's sort of the intercompetition makes the market more stronger, but also where we are now starting to see them collaborate together to steal market share from the FANG and from Netflix, Amazon Prime. We're seeing the power of TV come across within the industry.
So one area where we're seeing lots of activity at the moment is in measurement. There are lots of new initiatives and upgrades underway. Tell us a bit about why these are so important for advertisers. What benefits will these new initiatives bring in your view?
Well, traditionally, TV has bin traded on ratings, and ratings have been a means in which to deliver reach. So in recent years, we've seen an evolution in how we measure that reach. And there's certainly been appetite to be able to measure reach both across traditional linear TV viewing as well as on demand as we see audiences migrate. However, this is a huge challenge, and being able to measure both linear and on-demand viewing is a very complex thing to be able to do. So that's been challenging. We're seeing a few different people operate in this area. So Barb, historically the TV trading currency that we use, measure linear and on demand, and in fact recently in the last week have now introduced SVOD and video sharing platforms into their daily audience reporting, which is fantastic because this is allowing us to get, again, that picture of how audiences are watching. But really what the industry is striving for is understanding of what that total reach looks like. And C-Flight is one potential solution to being able to understand that total reach delivery. C-Flight being the kind of post-campaign online evaluation tool that will combine linear TV and broadcast VOD data to show media buyers what their overall advertising exposure is for a TV campaign. However, that's not the only solution currently in market. There's also Project Origin, aiming to strive for the same kind of holy grail. But incremental reach solutions do already exist in market. In fact, with the likes of Audience Project working with Barb, and we're seeing with the likes of Finecast, for instance, we are able to get total TV reach and frequency measurement across linear and on demand. So, you know, when we're looking at traditional media metrics of reach, there's already a few different options on the table. However, what's really interesting in terms of measurement is looking at outcomes-based solutions. And that's where the TV industry really started to gain quite a lot. So for instance, if we look at brand metrics, we've kind of got a variety of different brand uplift studies which are available now to understand the success of a campaign. We're also able to now look at footfall measurement and working with parties such as Mobster and Bliss. There's also now an increasing amount of sales data available through working with third parties. And finally, of course, there's also online engagement. We know that TV and search, for instance, work really hard together. And so being able to understand this is really important. And one such opportunity might be, for instance, the QR code approach. It's yet to be fully proven, but having a QR code embedded within a creative allows that journey between seeing an ad and taking an action to shorten, presenting itself with potential e-commerce opportunities with direct interaction with the TV advertising. And these sorts of solutions are likely to develop further in the future, which is really exciting because it means that we can continue to demonstrate the power that TV has at delivering results for advertisers.
Those are all really exciting developments. Emma, there's a lot of talk at the moment about the role of new metrics, and attention in particular is getting a lot of attention at the moment. Do you think metrics like attention have a future? Do they add much?
One of the biggest challenges when we're measuring video viewing is the fact that there's varying definitions of what a view is, and that we need to be mindful that when we're measuring viewing, that any new metric is able to compare viewing on a like-for-like basis. So we're comparing apples for apples, and that can be quite challenging because not all impacts are created equal, and we need to account for things such as completion rates or viewability, and that's something that at Wavemaker we've spent a lot of time trying to understand on behalf of our clients. We've done a variety of different studies over the years, including our open video research, which has analysed our own data to be able to understand video completion rates on different platforms. And more recently, we've got, I think, another round of social intelligence coming out, which looks at how video viewing differs across the different social platforms. But one new opportunity is to look at attention as that metric for comparing apples for apples. And I think that is actually a really exciting development. And if we're able to understand that and measure that across different video platforms, we can then start to apply it to our pricing in order to kind of start to compare different video platforms on a like-for-like basis.
So you also mentioned attribution, and increasingly, I think advertisers are looking to use their own first-party data assets and other data assets to support their TV ad buys. And that obviously means that we need a new TV data ecosystem to support data onboarding and fusions and commingling and so on. How do you see that data ecosystem developing? What does it mean for advertisers?
So I think this is an opportunity to rethink how we reach audiences. So traditionally, we've looked at delivering reach on TV and how we can drive incremental reach and where the opportunities are for driving that incremental reach. But actually now the opportunity lies beyond that. Addressability means that we have the opportunity to have more targeted reach, which potentially means we have less wastage and means that we can be smarter with how we deploy budgets, and also offers the opportunity for new advertisers to come to air. When we look at the addressable market, we've got the opportunity to segment audiences for a variety of different ways, using, for instance, first-party data and owned data assets from advertisers and broadcasters for building out targeting solutions. We can also start to use things like drive time or proximity targeting. We can use geo-targeting around retail or dealerships. So what all of this means is that we can start to build more custom audiences for our clients, built on multiple data sources, and really helping us to identify the right consumers to target at the right time.
Emma, that's really interesting. And just finally, tell us a bit about how advertising creativity needs to adapt. There's a lot of talk about data and performance, but TV is a highly creative medium, of course. What does all this mean for creativity in the future?
All of this means that we can be much smarter with how we use creative. So there are evolving opportunities for dynamic creative opportunities. And there's a growing ability to have a data-led approach to both targeting, but also in terms of the specific creative that we serve to a specific audience segment. And this is really important because we know that when someone is served with a more relevant ad, that they're 4 times more likely to recall that advert. So the better we get at understanding audiences and being able to serve them a more suited advert means that the better we are at driving ROI for our clients. So longer term, we see there being a huge opportunity to marry the creative to the audience that we're talking to, and deliver better advertising experiences for people at home.